365 days with the X Pro 3. Here are some of my most frequently asked questions. Okay, so I thought I'd mix it up today and bring you to my studio at home. This is where I make all my content, all my videos, so welcome. So these are questions I get asked all the time, so it's quite nice to have a video where I've had this now for a year and I can answer some of those questions in one video. A bit like I did with the XH2US, which you can watch here. And again, if you have any other questions that I have not asked, drop them in the comments below. If not me, someone else I'm sure out there can answer it. I also like to preface these videos. Fuji does not sponsor me or pay me any money, or I don't know any more than anyone else out there. This is just my experience with these cameras. If I get something wrong from time to time, it's just, you know, the way it is. But this is my experience and these are my thoughts. If you don't like them, then... Anyway, here's the first question. What is your favorite feature about the X Pro 3? My favorite feature, other than being weather sealed, because I want to talk about that, is the OVF. A very popular feature about the X Pro 3 and the X100 series is they use an OVF, which is beautiful to use. It's similar to a rangefinder, but it's not quite. It also has this hybrid function where you can use it digitally as well. There's a kind of like a little EVF in the corner that pops up, so you can use both to check focus. It's all about the usability of this camera, and I think that's what people are drawn to about the X Pro 3. It's a bloody good looking thing, lovely to hang around your neck. It's kind of like an accessory, but a very expensive accessory, so it is helpful if you know how to use the camera. You're not just buying it because, you know, it looks good on you, but it is a good looking thing. And I love being able to use the OVF. Like I said, it's a really nice feature that sits in all those Fujifilm cameras. So that's one of my favorite features. And like I said, I love that it's weather sealed. I live here in Britain, and if you know anything about Britain, it rains a bloody lot here. I also frequently travel to Ireland, where equally it is wet. So it's nice to have a camera that I know if I'm out in torrential rain, it's probably going to be okay, which is a lovely thing. All you need to make sure is you've got a weather sealed lens. What is the lens you pair most with the X Pro 3? So the lens I pair most at the moment is the TT Artisans 27mm f2.8. I have made, what, 2 videos about this lens now, but here, go check that one and that one out. That kind of explains everything. It's a cheap, light, portable, lovely little lens. It has some issues, but for the price it's really good, and it sits on here so well. They really do pair well together, and I think they're a good couple. The other lens I love to pair with this is the Fuji 35mm f2. This is the other lens that sort of sits on this camera as well. It has taken a bit of a back seat because I have been handed this TT Artisans 27mm, but this is the one that lives on here the most. I just love that it kind of replicates one of the X100 series cameras, maybe the V or the F. For me, this is a great combination. And if you're interested in this lens, I have linked it in the description. And if you purchase it, I get a small commission too. Who would you recommend the X Pro 3 for? These are always difficult questions for me because everyone's got an independent mind and they can do what they want. If you're asking me and we're talking like friends and you're saying, I'm interested in photography, what camera have you got? You got the X Pro 3, is that something I could pick up? We know what the price tag on this thing is, and it's not cheap. I do think it helps if you have some experience with photography. I really think that this is diving in at the deep end. However, now that I've said that, I don't think this is kind of like for professional use. I don't think it's reliable. From some of the stuff I've heard on the internet, I would be very wary to go and take this out and do a photo shoot with it. I'm sure it'd be fine, and I have not really had too many problems with the X Pro 3, but I think it's a recreational wet dream for people who are enthusiasts. People who love to go out on a nice sunny day like today and really spend a good few hours taking photos. I love how you can get interchangeable lenses. You know, you can use all types of different focal lengths. Who is it for? It's for anyone who's let's say mid-range. It's kind of like you're someone who's just wants a really good camera for recreational use, let's say that. I think that's the safest thing I can say. What annoys you most about the X Pro 3? For me, the battery life on this thing is useless, and I'd love to see an improved battery life on the X Pro 3. That would really help things. You can charge this thing on the go, so I keep a USB-C cable and a charging bank, so I can charge this thing as and when I go, a bit like with the Ricoh GR3X. That's kind of how I treat it. But yeah, the battery life on this thing it's not great. What Fuji simulation do you use most? As you know, I'm a big fan of the Fujifilm recipes, and usually that's my kind of go-to, my thing I like to play with most. When it comes to Fujifilm recipes, I like Classic Neg. That is one of the newer ones, and it's one of the ones that has inspired me a lot. I've taken a lot of photos with this. I took a photo every day with this camera last January, and I took it to Ireland and all over, and it really, as you can see here, some of the photos, it really was, it was the simulation I used most. And I get asked a lot, actually, what simulation am I using for some of my photos? I used it recently on the latest video. Yeah, I really like that simulation. It's a nice one to play with. Do you use your X Pro 3 for professional work? I have done, but I don't, if I'm really honest. Like what I spoke about earlier, this is a recreational camera for me. I use it for trips, and I use it for the love of photography. First and foremost, I am an enthusiast and a hobbyist. I just happen to do this as a job. So the thing that I use most for work is my XH2S for photography and video. So yeah, like I said, I have used it, but it's not something I go to regularly. If there happens to be an X Pro 4, what would you want to see in that? Other than better battery life, like I spoke about before, I'd really like to see higher resolution in the EVF when I'm using manual focus. I just think sometimes I can miss focus, and have noticed that, and I think if just a little bit more resolution like we've got in maybe in the XS20 or the XH2S, that would really help, and I'd love to see that. I've heard rumours that there might be an X Pro 4, but I've also heard rumours that then this is the last of the bunch. So I don't know. I don't. If anyone can tell me in the comments below what is going on with the X Pro 4, is it happening or is it not? You know, let me know. Do you ever use the X Pro 3 for video? Now, in one of my videos, the 5 reasons why you should choose the X Pro 3. The 5th reason was having the video capabilities of 4K 30. Within this year, have I used my X Pro 3 for video? And the answer is no. Actually, that's a lie. I have used it a tiny, small amount. I recorded one YouTube video with it when I needed to have my XH2S in my hands, and I got some B-roll when I was in America, and you can see some of the shots here, but no. This is my recreational photographer's camera. This is when I go out and I go take pictures. I don't really use this for video. You know, it's nice to have. It's really nice to have. It's a nice feature. I thought I'd use it more, but I was wrong. And that's why I have the XS20 now, because I need a backup hybrid camera. This is all about photography, this camera for me, and I'm going to keep it that way. What surprised you most about the X Pro 3? The thing about the X Pro 3 for me is that it really has kind of inspired and enthused my kind of inspiration for taking photos. I absolutely adore the art of photography, and I love going around the streets. I love going on trips. I love, you know, going on a photo walk, having a good camera in my hands, ready to discover a new place is one of my favorite things to do. And with the X Pro 3, with all the features it has, I love that it has the flip monitor. I can treat it more like a film camera, where I'm not chimping as much. I'm not checking my photos. I check my photos when I get back. I look at them, and I still can take as many as I want. I can take 128 gigs with me and take as many RAW and JPEGs as I want. I love the fact that I take the photo and I'm not gonna look at the photo straight away. Like a lot of people, could be love or hate. I love it. I think it's great. It keeps me more kind of concerned about the photography. I love the fact that some cameras do something to me like photography, and some cameras make me do other things like video. So it's drawing on things that make me tick. I'm really chuffed after 365 days with this camera. Hopefully we've got another year in it still. I could find something else that I want to get my teeth stuck into. It's a delight and a dream to use, and I can't wait to take it out and make more photos. As I've said, if you've got any questions, drop them in the comments below. I will be sure to try and answer them. If not, like I said, someone usually jumps in on this channel, which is great, and that's why I love this community that we're building. We are growing nice and speedily along at the moment, which is such a lovely thing to see in real time. And I'm glad if you're with me and you're joining the growth. So yeah, thank you for your continued support. Let's make some waves. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.